It leads me with Clayton Kershaw's 3,000th strikeout to the latest edition of our conversation about who wants to be a Hall of Famer. Is this person, if they do not play another game, another snap, another moment, are they a Hall of Famer? And Clayton Kershaw's big moment makes me wonder about the guy, if you will, he went to high school with. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Wait, what? Hold on. What?
Yes. Yeah.
What?
Who? He went to high school with Matthew Stafford.
No, wait, stop.
Who did?
Clayton Kershaw did?
Yeah, he did.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
And they both play in Los Angeles now?
So if you're
How am I just now finding this out?
You might, if you're wondering if Clayton Kershaw is in fact a Hall of Famer.
I would say that should be the shortest discussion in the room.
No. If the one thing that could put him over the top is if Matthew Stafford is a Hall of Famer.
Double dip.
So in honor of the fact that you may not have known that Clayton Kershaw
you learn something new every day, TJ.
went to high school, same high school
Mind blown.
as Matthew Stafford. Is it true that Clayton Kershaw was Stafford's center in high school?
Oh, that I didn't
Something
know.
along the lines of that?
Yeah, something like that.
That'd be as crazy as Stafford being Kershaw's catcher. Or
and
like
again, it's in the same realm of you might not have known Ryan Fitzpatrick went to Harvard.
No, we didn't.
Look it up. Google it.
Hold on.
But with Clayton Kershaw on the cusp of being a Hall of Famer, the one thing that could put him over is if Matthew Stafford takes down the crown in this rendition of Who Wants to Be a Hall of Famer.
Who wants to be a Hall of Famer?
Is that your final answer?
All right, here we go.
Okay.
In honor of Clayton Kershaw coming up with a milestone moment, his high school friend, Matthew Stafford, is our latest contestant on Who Wants to Be a Hall of Famer. 37 years old. If Matthew Stafford never played another snap, if he had decided this past offseason, we're done. We're done. Not going East Coast, and I'm not. I don't want to play anymore. I don't want to play with Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams for Sean McVay in Southern California, and keep my kids here looking at the Pacific Ocean sunset. Just as a for instance. All right, 222 games played. His 5,174 completions, 9th all time above Dan Marino. If he has a 191-yard passing game in the Rams home opener against the Houston Texans, if he throws for 191 yards in that Week 1 game, he will have 60,000 passing yards. He's 10th all time in that regard, ahead of folks named Elway in Montana. His completion percentage of 63.4% is 34th all-time. He has 377 career passing touchdowns. That's 10th all-time, ahead of people named Elway, Moon, Bradshaw, to say a few. His passer rating of 91.2 is tied for 27th all-time, ahead of folks named Marino, Favre, and Aikman. You want to use QBR for our friends at ESPN?
Sure.
His single-season QBR of 71.3 is tied for 60th all-time with Big Ben, ahead of folks named Rodgers, Ryan, Tom Brady. He is a Super Bowl champion, a 2-time Pro Bowler. That's twice. Second fastest quarterback in the history of the NFL to 20 and 30,000 career yards. The only one faster is named Mahomes. He is the fastest to 40,000 and 45,000 career passing yards. We'll see if Mahomes takes him out on those regards one day. His 727 passing attempts in 2012, second most all-time behind a guy named Brady. One of 9 quarterbacks to throw for 5,000 yards in a single season. He had 5,038 in 2011. He is the Lions' all-time leader in completion, passing yards, and touchdowns. And we all know one last accolade. 2 Triple Crown receivers, Calvin Johnson in 2012, Cooper Kupp in 2021, had the same triggerman named Matthew Stafford. Is he a Pro Football Hall of Famer? TJ Jefferson, I'll send it to you first.
All right, in addition to
right
all those,
now.
In addition to all those stats, he has more passing yards and touchdowns than all but 3 current Hall of Famers, right? He's also been pretty successful in the playoffs. He has 103 career passing rating in the playoffs. That's 4th best in history. He's got that championship. Brockman, about 4 years ago, you were sitting there, you and I were off camera talking about Matt Stafford, and you were like, look at his passing numbers. You're like, if he continues to do this, he's going to get to 70,000. I think based on all of these stats and the Super Bowl, he's not a first ballot. He's probably not a second ballot, but he will get into the Hall of Fame.
Chris?
If his career ended right now,
that is correct.
I love Matthew Stafford. I love watching him play.
Careful.
He was Sarah's voicemail for a long time.
You might be sleeping on
You've
the
reached
couch.
Sarah and Matthew Stafford. If he never played again, he does not get in.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
All of these stats and all the numbers, you can make the case that he is a compiler. Did it on bad teams who were losing most of the games. So, yeah, they got to throw, and he accumulated great numbers. He has exactly one nice accolade as a quarterback, and it was a Comeback Player of the Year award in his 3rd season. He's only made 2 Pro Bowls in 16 years. He's never sniffed an MVP. He's never sniffed an Offensive Player of the Year award. And I hate saying all this, but I'm just pointing out the facts. He's got 1 Super Bowl win. That's great. But 1 Super Bowl win doesn't get you in. We've seen that 2 doesn't get you in a couple of cases. I just don't think he's got it.
I will push back and say this is a no-brainer.
You can't push back on facts.
I'm pushing back on your facts as the determining factor.
I mean, we also gave facts.
I don't know, man.
You compiler, you can't control who's drafting you. Now, could you control if you stayed with him? And he wanted to restore the roar there. And, you know, the fact that he was a Lion this whole time, and he has better stats than Marino, and he's got a ring. How does that not
Marino has 3 first-team All-Pros. Marino was an MVP. Marino has 8 Pro Bowls.
And what do we hold against Dan Marino? He didn't win the Super Bowl.
But we don't talk about that with him being an all-time great. We always mention Dan Marino as being an all-time great.
That is not true, bro.
That is true.
Maybe in this room we do, but not out there in the general public. Everyone's so ring happy.
But he's got personal, individual accolades that Matt is just a bunch of. It's blank. It's blank.
I'm in no way shape or form saying he's better than Dan Marino. What I'm saying is, and I've said this many times, Marino does not get put on those Mount Rushmores by the majority of people because he didn't win.
I get it. I'm trying to keep my personal feelings from Matt out of this, and just looking at.
And I appreciate you doing that because that's the way you get into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
You know, unless you have red flags, then personal feelings definitely come into it.
Right.
But yeah, man, I think these numbers
He's got a sub 500 career record. What is the knock on Eli Manning?
Well,
dude was an average 500 quarterback. Matt is
Manning's
under 500.
Yeah, but because he was on some terrible, awful, dreadful Lions teams.
But you're the quarterback, man. You're supposed to be above that. You're supposed to make your team win when even it says, you know, all the numbers and all the analytics say that you shouldn't.
But he was Kershaw's catcher in high school.
That's a really good point.
I don't know if you knew that.
And
Kershaw was his center. And Stafford was Kershaw's catcher.
Yeah,
I don't know if you're aware of that. Yeah. No, but in all seriousness, the numbers I have given, to me, makes it a no-brainer. And you could say stat compiler, he was doing it for one of the worst teams in the NFL and stuck it out to the point where he finally said, I need to go somewhere else. And then as soon as he got somewhere else, he got the ring. He got some of the accolades that you're thinking he doesn't have a Hall of Fame resume because he lacks. So I'm gonna again. I know I'm more glass half full in this segment than both of you guys actually. But I think
now
you look at this right now.
If he plays till he's 40 and the Rams make another run, but I mean, he might get in because he's going to have 75,000 passing yards and 450 touchdowns or whatever. But right now, you don't entering his age 37 season, I don't think he's got it.
Also, a quarterback's and I know this is not a stat that I'm saying, but the stats that I'm about to say do enhance the fact that a quarterback makes his teammates better. And the two of the greatest receiving seasons ever, he was the quarterback. Calvin Johnson and Cooper Kupp. And Calvin's in the Hall of Fame because he had Stafford. And the Rams got a ring because they had Stafford.
I mean, that's a cool footnote, but
he had a great Super Bowl. He had one of the more iconic throws in the history of the Super Bowl, that no-look pass to Kupp. He made the throw to Kupp to win the game. I mean, he had that ring.
That's one game doesn't make a career.
He's had 49 game-winning drives, like that. Stuff like that adds up.
The dude is the man.
Do you think Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Famer?
I think he's going to get in the Hall, yes.
I don't,
Phillip
because
Rivers,
he doesn't have a championship.
Okay, great. He doesn't have a championship. Phillip Rivers made 8 Pro Bowls.
No, I know.
And was in the MVP conversation multiple seasons.
No, I know.
Phillip Rivers has led the league in multiple categories multiple times. Matthew Stafford has only led the league in completions one time and interceptions one time. That's it.
I think he's a Hall of Famer. Chris says no. You say yes, TJ Jefferson. So that puts Clayton Kershaw in the Hall of Fame now.
Well,
so
by
congrats
proxy,
to him.
yes.
If he throws his 3,000th strikeout was his last pitch. Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.